Welcome to my class.
How many pairs you got in here?
I don't know. I got a lot more upstairs. I had to come down here so Jazz could have more space. I need a jacket though to put on so we could go outside and let the dog use the restroom, bro.
I stay fresh every day.
You think so?
And don't never post nothing. Man, boy, man, I fucked your head up, boy. I have down there $7 million in clothes.
I accidentally walked in. I saw it.
Yeah,
This shit crazy.
$8 million in jewelry, nigga. I got a real estate portfolio over $10 million. Not counting the house that I'm living in. Like, tell nigga better stay the fuck out of my way, man.
You know, grave digging, man. I don't want to do too much talking or rub me the wrong way. I'm gonna treat you with the most respect ever. Make yourself at home. We're gonna have a lot of fun.
Thank you, man.
Keep the camera rolling 24/7. Right? This interview ain't gonna be like no other interview.
How much does YoungBoy get per show? If you were to guess.
I don't know. I believe, you know, I was before saying 600, but based on what I'm hearing ticket prices are, like them ticket prices, like people are emptying out the piggy banks for them. I would imagine 800.
Close to $1 million.
Yeah, 800.
When you throw in the merch, he's probably clearing a ticket a show. A meal ticket.
Do you speak French? You speak French? I like your outfit. What are you wearing? What are you wearing today? Okay.
What do you wear?
I'm sample.
You ever seen someone make more money while stuck inside a house than most artists make while touring the world? That's exactly what happened here. While on strict house arrest in the mountains of Utah, unable to leave his property, unable to perform, unable to move freely, NBA YoungBoy reportedly pulled in somewhere between $50 to $100 million in a single year. Tigers in the backyard, a literal tank parked outside, a $5.5 million mansion, over $1 million in cars he couldn't even drive, all while being legally confined to his home. And the craziest part is, this didn't start with privilege. This started with a kid who grew up dirt poor in Baton Rouge, watched his father get sentenced to 55 years, lost his grandmother at 10 years old, got jumped in group homes, fought and dropped out of school before 9th grade. This isn't just rags to riches, this is survival turned into strategy. He was born Kentrell Deshawn Galden on October 20th, 1999 in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. At just 4 years old, he broke his neck in a wrestling accident and had to wear a head brace for months. The scars from that brace are still on his forehead today. Before he even understood life, he was already in pain. Then his father was sentenced to what was essentially a life term in prison. No male guidance, no stability. His mother eventually left him in the care of his grandmother, Alice, who became his entire world. They lived in North Baton Rouge, one of the roughest areas in Louisiana. Money was always short, food wasn't guaranteed, but his grandmother gave him love and structure. Then she passed away from heart failure when he was just 10. That moment changed everything. He was sent to a group home where he said other kids would beat him for no reason. Imagine losing the only person who cared for you and then having to fight just to exist. By 14, he had caught a robbery charge and ended up in juvenile detention. Most kids would have accepted their path at that point. He did something different. He started writing, page after page, song after song. That's where the foundation of Life Before Fame was created. In a cold cell, he realized music wasn't a dream. It was an exit plan. When he got out, he moved in with his friend NBA 33 and his mother, who treated him like family. They didn't have money, so they did whatever they had to do to pay for studio time. And he started uploading mixtapes to YouTube back to back. Mind of a Menace, Mind of a Menace 2, Mind of a Menace 3. Then 38 Baby hit, and the internet started paying attention. Baton Rouge knew him, then Louisiana, then the South. In 2017, Atlantic Records and artist partner group signed him to a 5-album deal reportedly worth $2 million. The first thing he did was go back to his neighborhood and hand out $20,000 in cash. He never forgot where he came from, but fame brought pressure. Legal issues followed him for years. Serious cases, courtrooms, probation, arrests. Each time his success gave him access to top legal teams that helped him navigate situations that could have ended his career permanently. Money became a shield in a system that rarely shows mercy. Then in 2021, he was placed on house arrest in Utah. People thought this would end his momentum. No touring, no shows, no travel, just a mansion and an ankle monitor. But this is where he did something nobody expected. He turned confinement into the most profitable period of his life. He sold portions of his music catalog, signed massive label deals reportedly worth tens of millions, released over 100 songs in a single year. His YouTube channel alone was generating millions in ad revenue. His total streams crossed into the billions. Fans didn't forget him. They listened more. While other artists needed stages and arenas, he only needed Wi-Fi and a microphone. And while this was happening, he started buying things that made people question reality. Tigers? Yes, actual tiger cubs. One white, one orange. Authorities later intervened for the animal's safety. But the image shocked the internet. He bought horses and learned to ride in the Utah mountains. And then he bought something nobody expected. A tank, a real armored vehicle parked outside his mansion. His car collection crossed over $1 million. Rolls-Royce Cullinan, McLaren GT Maybach, Hellcats, Bentley, Tesla, Corvette, Suburban. Most of them white. But in interviews, he admitted he wanted to sell them because he couldn't even drive. His Utah home, nicknamed Gravedigger Mountain, sat on nearly 2 acres with 5 garages, a heated driveway, an elevator, and insane mountain views. In 2024, he listed it for $5.5 million, ready to move on from the place where he made his fortune but felt confined. Then he finally got free, and now he's projected to make around $60 million from touring alone. Fans waited years to see him live. Tickets sold out fast. Arenas filled with people who connected with his music during their own dark times. If you add it up, that's roughly $160 million between house arrest earnings and touring projections in a short span of years. But here's the part people don't talk about. In interviews, he admitted he's terrified of people, that he struggles with paranoia, that money didn't fix the trauma of his childhood. He has 11 children and is trying to be the father he never had. He funds school drives and gives back quietly. When you step back from all the numbers, all the cars, all the wild purchases, and all the headlines, what really stands out is not the money, it's the mindset. Because this story isn't about a rapper who got rich. It's about a kid who was handed every reason to fail and still figured out a way to win in a system that was never built for him to succeed. Think about it. Losing his father to a 55-year sentence, losing his grandmother at 10, getting sent to group homes where he had to fight just to exist, dropping out of school, catching cases before most kids are thinking about high school dances. That kind of start usually ends one way. But for him, it turned into fuel. Every setback became a reason to push harder. Every loss became something he poured into his music. And that's what people connected to. Not just the beats, not just the lyrics, the realness. What really separates his story from most is what happened when he got put on house arrest. For most artists, that would have been the end of the momentum. No touring, no shows, no movement. Just silence. But he flipped it. He used the internet like a weapon. Dropped music nonstop, let YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Music do the heavy lifting. Built a direct connection with millions of fans who didn't care where he was physically as long as the music kept coming. That's the genius part. He understood something a lot of artists still don't. In the digital era, attention is currency. And he never let the attention die. Not for a single moment. The mansion, the tigers, the tank, the cars he couldn't drive, those weren't just flexes, they were symbols. Symbols of someone who came from nothing and finally had the power to do whatever he wanted, even if he couldn't leave his property. It showed the world that confinement couldn't stop his success. That money kept flowing even when he was locked down, and now that he's free, that same fan base that held him down for years is showing up in arenas across the country, selling out shows, turning tours into tens of millions of dollars. That's loyalty you can't buy. That's something earned through authenticity. But the part that hits the hardest is when he admits that money didn't fix everything, that he's still dealing with fear, paranoia, trauma from his childhood, that he's trying to be a better father to his kids than what he experienced growing up. That reminder is important because it shows that success doesn't erase pain. It just gives you a different environment to deal with it in. So at the end of the day, this isn't just a story about wealth. It's a story about survival, adaptation, and turning the worst possible beginnings into something nobody thought was possible. Now I want to hear from you. What part of this story shocked you the most? The house arrest money? The tank and the tigers? Or the fact that he turned confinement into the most profitable time of his life? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more breakdowns like this, where we uncover the real stories behind the biggest names in hip-hop, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next.